Okay, we're gonna make normal sourdough bread with 100% rye starter, and also we're gonna add some rye flour into the dough as well. So I have there 110 gram of rye starter. That is 100% rye starter. It means I am mixing from the beginning only rye flour and water. And now I'm gonna add some water. So it's stuck into my bench scraper a little bit. So it's gonna be altogether is 110 rye starter. Now we're gonna add water, 412 gram. This is the water that I clean up the bucket with my rye starter. So we need 412 grams, a little bit more. We're gonna make 75% hydration. Oops. And that is my rye starter mixed with water. So I like to use this whisk to whisk them together, because rye starter is kind of like very thick. So you can see that the bubble in there. It means gonna give me very nice crumb. Look at the crumb. And then I add flour. I add flour. 500 gram of bread flour. Tear out. And then 500 gram of bread flour. Make sure not too much. This is only one loaf, okay? My loaf is big because I like to have big sandwiches. Oops. Use my hand. So I have 500 gram there, and I like to add about 25 gram of rice flour. This is my rye flour. So 25 gram. That's it. And then I'm gonna add whole wheat flour, another 25 grams. So altogether is 550. That's for my big loaf. Oops. 550. Perfecto. And then I'm gonna add salt. My salt is 11 grams. Put on top of the flour, 11 grams. Oops. That should be okay. Ooh. Yeah, that should be okay. I put everything together, no autolysis this time, because I want to make it quick. So again, make sure that rye flour is, this is the way I mix. You mix like that, okay? You don't squeeze anything just yet. This way you're gonna incorporate everything together. So all the flour gonna mix with water well, this way. But if you squeeze it, it's gonna create the lump. And you don't want that because it's difficult to handle. So what you do is you just flip them, get the flour to absorb all the liquid or the water. So you're gonna have a very nice texture. like that. Just flip over. This stage, flip over. No squeeze. Okay. There you go. So this one I'm gonna, after I mix, I'm gonna do slap and fold. So what I'm doing here, this is after I mix the rye flour, make everything so sticky. So just make sure your hand is wet. Slap and fold. This is a foam box. So I put my dough here, and then some ice pack. These ice packs in here, and I put my dough there. Cover the lid. This is first stretch and fold. So you stretch out a lot like that. I skip number 2 because it's same thing. This is number 3, stretch and fold. See the bubble? That is the power of rye. This is number 3. Okay, for those who want to do adding the inclusion, this is the time number 3, stretch and fold. You can add the inclusion by stretch out into square and put the inclusion on top and then roll it up. But I don't want to do the inclusion, so I just gonna do a normal one. This is number 3. One more time. This is the number 4, the last time. So before I do that, I test, window pane test, to see whether the dough is ready to proof yet. So I do another stretch and fold. This is the 4th time before I proofing another 2 hours in the foam box again. The foam box keep temperature stable. In the foam box is about 25 degrees Celsius. This is a perfect one for proofing. This is after 2 hours of proofing. So I just test whether my dough is ready to shape. So I cut a little piece, put into the glass of water. It's floating, so I prepare for shaping. This is my Benetton basket with clothes on, and then I just tap rice flour into the basket. And this is where I pre-shape. I use laminate technique, or the English complain that it's not laminate. So it's basically stretch it out into square shape or rectangle shape as much as you can without breaking the dough, without tearing. You know, my dough is break a little bit, that's okay. When the dough is proofed perfectly, the gluten has been released, the tightness will be easy for stretch it out like that. See, I break a little bit, but that is okay. You try to pull it out as much as you can. Wet your finger, wet your counter, and put your finger underneath like my hand doing it. See, go underneath and pull it out as much as you can without breaking it. If you see some area is with a high amount of dough, you can, stretch it out and fold it like envelope. Fold it like you're folding your clothes, and leave it about 15 to 30 minutes. So before you put your dough onto the counter, you make sure that you put the flour. I use AP flour onto the counter so the dough will not be stick on the counter, and gently stretch it out into square. This time I didn't rest enough, so it should be about 30 minutes, but I am in a rush. So then you squeeze, put it into square again, and fold it into the envelope shape like that again. So the idea is to try to make the dough tight as much as you can. So this one will create tension for the dough, and then when you're baking, the dough will be give you a beautiful oven spring. I feel that the shape is not balanced, so I do another folding, and then create the tension. As you can see there, I put my hand under and pull to myself, so that create the tension for the dough, and then put into the basket. You can sprinkle flour on top of the dough before you put into the basket. I just put it in there and gently, make sure that it's balanced. This is after about 5 minutes. The dough had released a little bit, so I put in the plastic bag and put in the cold retard. This is after cold retard. The way I bake it, I just sprinkle some flour on top, so it won't be stick on to the parchment paper. So I use a cooling rack to flip over. This is easy way and not mess about. And this is a very perfect dough to score and bake. You have two choices. You can 5 minutes score in, or you can do a second score. But what I'm doing here, I'm do a score first and second score after 5 minutes. I use the bread to score it. First, create the line, and the second, go deep, like about 1 inch or 2 inch deep, like that, across the dough. Make sure it's go across the dough, so when it's open up, they open up balance. And then I preheat my oven 250 degrees Celsius for about 30 minutes with some cookie sheet there, you can see. And I just put the dough in, and then underneath you can see that is the baking tray. Make sure your baking tray is not leaking. So if this one is aluminum tray, they come with 1 piece. So I put 1 cup of water in there and bake for 30 minutes. For 5 minutes. And then after 5 minutes, I do a second score. You can see the dough start to open up a little bit, and then this is the perfect time. Some people says 8 minutes, some people 10 minutes. I like to do 5 minutes, so the dough is nice and easy to score. So this is a very dangerous way, but my hand already automatically protect myself where to get burned. So I'm not get burned and now, but before of course I get burned. and then you rotate the dough and continue bake another 30 minutes. During the time, I keep rotated many times. After you baking 30 minutes and continue baking another 30 minutes without the water tray, and this is what you get. Beautiful.